What's up, everyone? This is Mental Wealth Talks with Diondre and RJ.
Hey.
And we're just a podcast that talks about everyday life and how we can make it better. So today we actually have a special topic. I know in the previous episodes we were talking about happiness, and I think we're both excited to kind of talk about, this topic, this discussion.
It's time.
Yeah, and it's with the chill guy meme. I don't know if you guys have seen it going around.
We're just a couple of chill guys.
Yeah. It just kind of stormed the internet. It's been going crazy. People have been adding it as their profile picture. You've been seeing some dark memes. We're not going to get into all that. You guys can look at your own risk. But there are some great memes out there. And, of course, I'm going to give credit where it's due. It's made by Philip Banks in 2023.
Shout out Philip. Yes.
Yeah. So he made this dog that has this like smirk, and he has his hands in his pockets.
Yep.
And you look like a really chill guy, because guys, it's really cold out here. By the way. Yeah. So this dog has his hands in his pocket, this smirk, and I think the whole idea is the 3 C's: cool, calm, collected. You have life and things just happen, and this chill guy or dog or whatever just has his hands in his pocket and says, "I'm just a chill guy." So have you seen the meme around?
Of course. If you haven't seen the meme, either you're not on social media or you're literally living
Under a rock.
Dude, not even under a rock, like a boulder, man. It's really it's so popular. It's gone from regular chill guy who's just, hands in the pocket to now, we got the chill girls. Shout out the girlies who are just chill. Then we had, like you said, those dark twisted memes where he might be a chill guy that's crashing out. And with the chill guy, like, he literally represents to me like a symbol of, like you said, cool, calm, collected. So like he just gives me like this sense of like peace. And my favorite meme is where he's like but he's standing in the room in the corner, and it's like everybody's hanging out, but he's just a chill guy in the corner, like living his own main character story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it's a direct reflection of the generation we're in. I don't know if you hear a lot of like boomers and older people talk about our generation. So I'm considered a millennial. I barely made it. I was supposed to kind of be Gen Z, but I think we're like more millennial, Gen Z.
90s babies.
Yeah, and it's this kind of like don't give a fuck type of vibe.
Yeah.
From work, for how we feel about certain things. And in my personal opinion, of course, there's different interpretation of this meme.
That's what Philip said, right? Like on the tweet, I think he was like, "This is just a cartoon who doesn't give a fuck."
Yeah, I mean, that we'd have to dig a bit deeper. I just know he was the artist that made it, but maybe we can add some more detail in the description.
Okay.
But I think it kind of the internet kind of took it, but we can kind of look back and add in the description. But that's what I kind of get from it. Like, you don't give a fuck, and again, not saying letting yourself go, but it's more of something happens in life. Oh well, it's not out of it's not in my control.
Yeah.
And we'll go over some like tips and advice for like how to not give a fuck.
How to be a chill guy or girl.
Exactly. But that's kind of my interpretation of it. I think direct reflection of our generation, and personally I love it because it's great for your mental. When you're chill for some things and not thinking it's the end of the world, I think that really helps with your mental.
It's so hard to be a chill guy. Or
it is hard though.
I'm gonna take guy, from my perspective, it's hard to be a chill person. You know?
Yeah.
There's so much going on in this world that, like, between constant news, constant personal drama, and then the environment is just doing whatever it wants,
Yeah.
So to be a chill guy or person, girl, whatever, going through this, it takes so much work. Just like the happiness thing, go watch the older videos about happiness. This isn't about being happy. Happy is its own different beast. This is about keeping the peace on the inside.
Yeah.
You telling me that I have to be okay with world hunger? I have to be okay with the economy. I have to be okay with me just trying to get by and just be like, I'm just a chill guy with my pockets, with my hands in my pockets, and I'm just calm and cool and collected. I am not calm, cool, or collected. But the whole point is to try to, I guess, like, embody that in a way.
Yeah, and like you said, it can be tough, especially in life. There's so much that goes on.
Yep.
But I think it's about, and this is one of the ways to be chill, is defining your core values.
Okay.
Right?
What matters to you, right?
Exactly. So it's just asking yourself what really matters to me, and then focusing your energy on only things that align with your values. I think constantly we are aligning ourselves with other people's values, even seeking validation from other people, which is another part of being chill.
Okay.
And it kind of interferes with our values, and it messes with your mind because you're trying to appease someone else or go against your own morals. I think that's like a cognitive dissonance or something like that.
It's also probably trained into us, like ingrained into us at birth, that you have to go along with whatever the tribe or the group, and like,
exactly.
If you're opposing, then you're causing like a rift in that.
Exactly. And that's kind of like picking your organization, like even in jobs, in maybe in a fraternity, sorority, any type of group, anywhere where there's a collection of people. You even see this in movies. There's always like the rebellious one that thinks
the black sheep.
Yeah, the black sheep that thinks that this community or whatever this group is doing, I disagree with, and it's dumb. I don't, I'm not with their values, and it becomes stressful for them because you are appeasing a group's values that you don't align with,
So, and not to sideswipe you, but can you name like maybe a couple of your core values or what you think like matters to you if you were like in a setting like?
Yeah.
Not specifics, but just like the areas in your life that matter to you,
I think that, so I can kind of, I guess, like give an example. Again, and if you guys haven't noticed, it's always work with me in jobs, because I've been through so many jobs, and that's a lot of my experience where I value the people, their well-being, and yeah, just basically those two things. And in my experience with work, again, like I said, it's a group. Everyone aligns with certain values. They say, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that, or I don't know, like it's very hard to explain.
It's just like you're playing politics.
You're playing politics, and I'm kind of there, and it doesn't align with my morals and my values.
So maybe being fake, because politics is about
being
fake.
You have to be fake, and it's like I like to really tell the truth, and that was my issue in certain places where, oh, you can't tell them this, you can't tell them that, and the person that's saying this, they know it's wrong. They know it's wrong, but they have to go with the group, the organization.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not going to do that. So now I have to play politics, right? I'm going to tell people things. I'm going to be honest. So yeah, those are a part of the values. Now I'm kind of opening up more. Like
honesty.
Honesty is big for me.
That's great.
Like, why lie to people, right? You can be open and honest. I think a lot of people become fearful. They think people will be fearful if you tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Kind of off topic, on topic, like even with the government, how they kind of
what with those drones?
Those drones, like, they're not going to tell you the truth because they don't want people to be scared. That's just me using that as an example.
Yeah.
But I think that just being honest is a really important value.
That's a great one.
And that's what I align with. If I'm in a group or community that doesn't do that, then it's going to be very, very hard for me.
So actually, I ended up doing this a couple weeks ago where I like listed out my core values, just trying to understand more about what matters to me in my life. And these core values, like, you have to take it with you, like, obviously in your life, but at the same time, if you're trying to have friends, if you're trying to have a relationship, if you're trying to build a community, like, if you guys do not align with if you and your community or your people don't align with what you believe in, that's fine. We all have different beliefs, but at the same time, if you're trying to like double down on, say, hey, like, you're honest. If you're an honest person, you're not going to hang around scumbags, like liars, people like that, which is fine. That's not saying like, okay, like, maybe I'm a liar, like, okay, you don't want to hang around me, or maybe you want to hang around but keep me at a distance, like, because my core might invade your core. Now, here comes the chill guy thing where it's kind of like, okay, well, like, one of my core values is spirituality. All right, cool, spirituality. But if somebody comes up to me and is like dissing what I believe in and like saying like, oh, your faith is trash or anything, like, am I gonna like spaz out and crash out on them and be like, no, like,
you're just going to let it go?
I just have to be calm, cool, and collective in my own way, put my hands in my pocket and understand that, like, they have different opinions and like views, but at that same time, like that's not going to affect me, you know, because I'm so solidified and I'm so like at peace and chill on the inside. You can't bother me. You can't, like, whatever you say isn't gonna make a difference. Not to say that you shouldn't take what other people say and just throw it out the window, but if you know, hey, you believe in this, you have a lot of outside forces that are like kind of conflicting with that idea, that's fine. Hey, we're all like that. Isn't that the whole point of this planet? If we were all the same chill guy meme, we would be just copies of each other.
Some people would even say that you're kind of being complacent, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, think about my example, right? I said honesty is huge for me. I could have been the chill guy and say, you know what? This place is trash, or this organization, they don't align with my values. Oh, well, you know? And that was a tough thing. And I think I've been through it. At some points, I was kind of the chill guy. And, like, well, it's out of my control. I've done everything I can. I've had my wins. I've had my losses. But, you know, at the end of the day, out of my control. And that's kind of one of the other tips that we want to give about, you know, being this chill guy.
Tell them.
Is realizing things are out of your control. Like, we had a discussion earlier. Again, if you guys haven't guessed already, work again. I was a supervisor. And I think a lot of people can relate to this, where you can't be everywhere at once. You're not like some sentient god that could be behind RJ's shoulders to see if he's getting the job done, right? There's always going to be mess ups. And for me, I used to stress me out. I lost sleep. I've gotten some gray hairs in the middle of my hair. In the middle of my head, I'm sorry. I would think about the next day at work, saying, I hope there's not a mess up. I get called into the office.
Your health, man.
Yeah.
It's all health related.
And I realized it's out of my control. I cannot do anything. I'm not everywhere at once. And that's what it is. And I actually have like kind of like a mentor now, and I look up to him. I came to him with an issue, and he looked at me. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm like, what is this guy talking about? It's okay. The samples blew up. And he's like, it's okay.
He's just a chill guy,
and guess
man.
What? And crazy, he puts his hands in his pocket. He puts his hands in his pocket.
Little smirk.
Yeah. And you know, guess what happened at the end of the day?
What?
It got figured out.
There you go.
And guess what? I went home, and like nothing happened.
Life goes on.
Life goes on. So why, you know, harp on something that's out of your control? You know.
I mean, I really like what you say about not being a sentient being. If you were, please let me know. But even Superman has to let people die, as like sad and like depressing as that sounds, because you can only be in so many places at one time. So this whole concept of being a chill guy is just saying like, hey, you're only in control of what you have, what you got going on in your little, you know, maybe 5-foot radius that you can handle. And outside of that, if things start to blow up or start to go crazy, you got to take care of that 5-foot radius first.
Exactly.
So then you could go handle what's on the outside, because it's boundaries, man. And I know that's another tip that we're going to introduce, but you guys got to set boundaries in life, because
say no.
Being a chill guy, man, being chill means knowing what's coming in and out of. Imagine you have a little farm, and your little farm has a little fence around it, and you let a bunch of wolves come in. Your wolves are the economy, the environment, other people's opinions. You got to have those fucking fences up there to make sure these wolves stay out, because you're trying to protect your peace, your chickens, your pigs, your home. If not, you're not going to have anything. Boundaries are key. Like, it's being able to, like you said, say no. Saying no is a big one. Also allowing how much energy goes out to people, because if you give everybody all your energy, all your time, dude, if you what were you gonna say?
And it sucks because a lot of people won't realize it. You know, you keep saying yes, you let people in, not setting those boundaries. They're going to constantly think that you're okay with it. You know, they're going to say, oh man, I didn't know you had an issue with it, you should have said something. You know, and that happens a lot in, you know, friend groups, work, you know, school, everywhere. You let people in, and again, they may not be taking advantage of you, like they're not doing it like maliciously,
Yeah.
but they just think that you're okay with it, So that can really mess up your mind as well.
So I feel like we got to give some, at least like a little bit relatability in topics that deal with setting up boundaries. So setting up a boundary, like I'll name like 2 spots in life, one with family and one with friends. So with family, I feel like if you don't have that one family member in your group that is, I'm going to use toxic as the word, and you can only deal with so much of them in your life, whether they're calling you, texting you, trying to hang out all the time, and you're like, they're not good for you in a way where they're like, you always feel depleted after you speak to them. You always feel drained. You always feel like not in the best mood. And hey, this could be some of your closest family members. Like we all have members like that in our family. You got to limit the phone calls. You got to limit the connection that you have with that person if that makes you feel better. So I'm not saying like, okay, like this is like your dad and you're just cutting him off. Like, well, see if maybe limiting a phone call like from every day to like maybe send them a text,
Exactly.
And I'm not talking that like you should diss your family, you should diss people. Like, okay, now let's turn it to friends. All right, friends, if your friends are always trying to like get you into shenanigans and do this, you got to set up the boundaries and say like, no, like we can't do this, or not I cannot do this all the time.
And you don't feel bad for it. You
can't
feel bad.
That's
for
where
it.
the chill part comes in, because they're gonna make you feel bad. Like, oh, come on, man, come outside. Let's hang out.
And guess what? Like I said, at the end of the day, everything will be okay.
Yep. It's going to be okay. And guess what? They'll still be there. You'll still be able to go out. You can't go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But I'll see you guys Friday and maybe Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday, I'm going to go back into being the chill guy. Because you keep letting people steal that chillness when you're like, oh, man, it becomes a lot. And then you end up being a crash out.
Yeah. And I have a family member that I did this to. And I didn't cut him off. I just told him, hey, man, listen, you can't keep hitting me up for these $20 cash apps. And he knows it, too, if he's watching. He knows it. I love him. But I said, man, I can't keep giving you 20. Like, this will be the last $20 I give you. You have to figure things out.
Yeah, no.
He pulls up in a Beamer 2 weeks later. Like, everything will be okay. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I still talk to him if he has issues, but some things I'm like, okay,
it's
man,
the boundary.
Like, I can't do anything. I have a kid too.
Yeah, you need those $20.
Yeah.
And it's loving them from a distance. That's the boundary. That's the part of you being a chill person, is by saying, hey, bro, I got love for you. I got so much emotion, but at the same time, stay over there.
Yeah, and I put my hands in my pocket.
And just smile a little bit.
That's it. Yeah.
What was the next point that we were hitting up? Was it going to be about... let me see, seeking validation, or was it...
The last one that we have is overthinking.
Overthinking.
And I think we kind of went into this already. Like I had mentioned, it'll be the night before and I'm going into work, I'm thinking about going into work the next day, overthinking. And that shit will really, mess you up. Just overthinking. Yep. And mind you, when it comes that time, everything turns out fine. Like I overthink a lot with some of my presentations. Like I work a job in corporate and I'm like, man, I have like 5 meetings and I'm overthinking the presentation. I'm like, what if I mess up? What if it doesn't look good? What if it's not that? Meeting gets canceled. Then I'm like, okay, I'm not ready for this next meeting. I'm not ready. I talk, and then my boss or someone else takes it over and helps out. And I'm like, okay, that wasn't really that bad.
Good job.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, man, I've been thinking about this last meeting for this day, and I hope it goes well. Again, might get canceled or something happens, and then they say, oh, good job, or, it goes fine. Overthinking, and just have to be the chill guy. Like, okay, I have these tomorrow. Whatever happens, hands in pocket.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean like let everything crash and burn. Again, being a chill guy does not mean be a crash out. That means, You're going to be okay with what you got going on. And hey, if you got to prep for it, you got to plan for the meeting. You can only plan so much.
Yeah.
You know, like you have the points set up, you have this set up. You can only do so much at that point. You just got to go through it. Then the overthinking is literally like it's going to steal your peace no matter what. You want to sit there and run a mile a minute in your head, go for it. But you're going to realize, wow, you're spending a lot of time, a lot of energy, and you're not going to put yourself in a spot unless you need to. Like if you're brainstorming, overthink. But if you're just like, oh my gosh, I have this dinner, oh my gosh, I have this meeting, oh my gosh, I have this presentation, I have this video we got to record, it's like we prepped, we did what we could, we showed up, that's it.
And
Walk
will
away.
it matter in 5 days? Well, for the work it might, because
it'll definitely matter, but at the same time there'll be more opportunities.
Exactly. It's not like, you know, even if, let's just say it goes bad, right? The worst that can happen, again, it is different for each scenario, whatever, but the worst that can happen is to get negative feedback, but just do better next time.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like, it won't be the end of the world. It's not like Diondre messes up, a meteorite is going to come down and hit this place. The worst thing, again, and you know, the boss that I have, he would say, you know, give positive, you know, good critique, right, or criticism, and then you take that and you do better the next time, and that's what it's all about. But a lot of people overthink, but you just have to be chill about it and really see, you know, will it matter in 5 days? Will it matter in 5 years? And again, if it does go bad, then you just learn from that experience and move on. Hands in pocket,
smile,
you know, and go get that Chipotle.
Oh God!
You know, it's been
Chipotle
PDQ.
sponsor.
It's been PDQ for a while now.
Wow.
I haven't had Chipotle in a while. If you guys don't know, I love Chipotle. If you guys watched the previous episodes, but I've been on PDQ.
We're gonna get a Diondre sponsored Chipotle bowl.
Yeah.
Double chicken. I mean, with overthinking, I definitely feel I have been so like hard on myself about overthinking because a part of me is a perfectionist. A part of me wants to like have everything set up, but at the same time, like overthinking can also be a way for me to like get away from actually doing it. You know what I mean? And that's okay because you know, like, okay, you may want to have it be this way, but at the same time, you got to just let it go and be the way that it is so you can go and take that thinking and change it because we get annoyed. I get annoyed at myself when I'm overthinking and I'm just like ruminating about this thing in my head over and over and over again. And it's like, wait a second, it's not going to matter. Or if it does matter, okay, it matters, but you have to limit how much you're going to give into it. Because then you don't become a chill guy. You become an overthinking type of person who's just like, you look like a chill guy on the outside, but on the inside, you're like, and
so
just
So
going crazy.
do you feel like you're at that chill guy phase? Like, has there been a point where you started to like not give a fuck, or are you still working on it?
I think this is just common for like any teenager. I'm not a teenager, by the way, if you couldn't tell. But like anybody, because I was gonna say high school, but like for any teenager, like getting out of high school, any adult coming into, you know, their late 20s or entering their 30s, and I'm sure even later in life feeling this, that like you're trying to be okay with the person you are and become like kind of like one. Like it feels like I just stopped being a teenager like 5 years ago, kind of, and now I have to like combine that, like the little bit of that leftover life with now like my real like 20-year-old life, but now I'm about to be 30 in like a year, so it's like, oh my gosh, now I gotta combine that life. So when I can say like most recently like not giving a fuck and being a chill guy was after high school and like college. Like really after high school I realized like, okay, like it doesn't matter, because I did think that like, oh, like, you know, I've talked about like just being that typical, like I want people to like me, I want to like, you know, be this way, and then you realize like, oh wow, those people don't matter. The influences you had don't really affect you as much as you think. So that was like pretty eye-opening as a kid, because even going out and like wanting to look good, and now it's not, I still want to look good, but I'm gonna do it for me, you know, like I'm not gonna like, oh my god, I gotta overthink like how am I gonna look going out and stepping out.
You said you used to buy shoes just to get them, right?
Just to get them and just to look good, you know, present them to like, you know, the people around me, because I like them, but I didn't like them where I'm gonna keep them, you know, and just like let them sit. But I could say also not giving a fuck, man, is doing this type of content and just doing this. This is not giving a fuck. And Diondre here has more experience. Diondre has done tutoring videos, he does blog posts, he's done science videos. This DiondreMomPoint.com.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, somewhere here.
But like, I've always wanted to do podcasting. I've always wanted to do videos, skits. Like, I think I'm a funny person. I like to yap a lot. So when it came to us doing this and like starting 2 years ago, like, I've been making like videos here and there, but I've never posted them. They would just go in the vault, and I'm like, no, I'm not showing anybody because I'm not ready, and because I'm not okay, yeah, you need to practice and get ready, but at the same time, like, you got to just say, fuck it. Like, you know, okay, you're gonna go online and people are gonna see you. Somebody's probably watching this and is like, losers, scroll.
Yeah.
But
and then there's other people that really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you wouldn't know until you try it.
Yeah.
Just not care.
Just,
you know,
and you care, but like care to the point where you are not allowing it to rob you of your peace. That's where the chillness comes in, because you're trying to maximize maximum chillness. The maximum chillness comes from you being at peace with whatever's going on. So we do this video, we've done these contents. There's some really, really bad videos that we will never post, but at the same time, like, me being the chill guy that I am now, like, hey, I've done my practice. Whether people like it or not, we're still here. We're still going to post it, and we're going to keep doing it the week after, and we're going to get better.
And we want this to really inspire people, because we're not like, you know, some Hollywood guys, or like, you know, really used to like really used to being on the camera as much. Of course, RJ said I've done videos, but again, I'm not even an expert. And just us doing this is, you know, us not giving a fuck, as in not caring what other people think, because we're providing you guys the value. You know, we're preaching on here. We're having very good discussions.
And we're doing it for ourselves.
Exactly. So I just hope that kind of inspires you guys.
Yeah. And you don't get to run away, because what's a moment that you stop giving a fuck? Or when did you know?
It's actually interesting, because I feel like I haven't really... I just started not giving a fuck, like, recently, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, recently. I've always kind of been into like what other people think. All of these advice that we had gave out, the overthinking, all of those, I've done that for a long time. And I don't think until now I'm getting a bit better. I can't say I'm 100% chill guy, maybe like 50% there, because I even told you, like, I'm talking about stories at my job, and I'm running in, I'm like, hey, like, you know, I'm overthinking this. I still do it, so I'm not going to lie to you guys and say I'm a chill guy, I got it down packed. It's not until now where there's some things I'm doing better. Like, I'll go and I'm say, oh, tomorrow I work, there's nothing I can do, I'll just do my best, done. So I don't think it's until, of course, we started this podcast, and then really having a mentor that really gives me good criticism and some of the best advice. I've had plenty of people in my life that were older than me, or like, you know, I don't want to say above me, because we're all equals, but you kind of get what I mean, like hierarchy. Sure. And I've never really gotten that good feedback. So I would say I can't really answer that now. Like, I'm still working on it. Maybe in another podcast I can tell you I'm fully there, you know?
It might be like a constant thing that you have to go through and remind yourself, because like the Diondre who does worry about the presentations and does give that extra additional care and thought and effort, you need him to also do the work, but at the same time, that's when the chill guy Diondre comes in, and he just like, hey, you did your work, I'm tapping in now, and I'm gonna take over. And then that's when you gotta let it go, because you need both. Maybe we won't ever fully be that chill guy 24/7.
Yeah.
If your baby falls and you're just like, it's all right, she fell, it's okay. No, you should be like, oh my god, my baby.
Yeah. And I think that kind of tells us it's situational too.
Exactly.
Again, we're not saying be chill about certain things.
World hunger. I mean, you can only do so much, but you could feed somebody if you're hungry.
Exactly. You can only do so much. So again, I think letting go is a very important skill. This is something that we want to really promote on this podcast.
Yep. Don't give a fuck.
Exactly. Don't give a fuck, and be a chill guy. You have any closing words?
Honestly, not giving a fuck and being a chill guy is way harder than it seems, so don't beat yourself up if you're not. Reminder, you know, we may overthink, we may try to seek validation, we may, you know, maybe let people into our boundaries a little bit, and we might start caring about things that other people care about, but, you know, these are all good things, because these are reminders of how you don't want to be, you know?
Exactly.
You don't want people to always come in and smash your boundaries. You don't want people to come in and say, hey, what you believe in, Diondre, doesn't matter. It's out the window. Like, no, it does matter. And you also don't want to sit there and overthink all the time. So let those little like moments that you're like, oh man, I'm doing this, I'm not being the chill guy, let that be the reminder of like, oh man, I need to switch that chill guy back in mode.
Yep. And it's all baby steps, guys.
It
Again,
really is.
I know RJ, he had a moment where he started to not give a fuck, and then you got my part where I'm still working on it. So you kind of got both, and that kind of helps you guys. Or I don't want you guys to feel discouraged if you guys aren't at that chill guy phase yet, but it's all baby steps, and all of the advice, tips that we gave be in the description. So I think we could end it here.
Let's do it.
So
thank you so much for watching, right?
Of course. Like, comment, subscribe, support the podcast. We are on Spotify. We have our YouTube shorts. Go follow us on Instagram as well.
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok, TikTok, all that cool stuff.
And remember, please be a chill guy or girl as much as you can, right?
Of course, hands in pocket. This is Mental Wealth Talks, and we're out.
Take care, guys. Bye.
All right.